And we're live.
Yes, we are. Yeah, as soon as I get on, do these live videos. What happened to my light here? Um, he just loves. Hold on one second. That's a little bit better. He just loves, chatting. Hi, Walter. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I was thinking like a few minutes ago. I'm like, how did I meet Pamela? I mean, we didn't even chat on Substack too much, you know.
Oh,
So I just kicked. Can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly.
Okay, good. Um, Oh, Andrew's here. Okay, good. Yeah, we're doing what I call spirit chats today. So I think I like to let's come on, Walter. Yes, I know you have to be front and center.
Hi, Walter.
Yeah, so I just like spirit to take the wheel and whatever unfolds will unfold. I did take a peek on your webpage, and my gosh, are you fascinating? My goodness.
Thank you. I feel normal to me, but
Well, yeah, I mean, what's
thank
normal?
you for having me on. I want to say that. Okay, thank you so much for having me
Yes,
on,
you're
Donna.
welcome. Yeah, I usually could go live on Thursdays at 10 o'clock, and I was supposed to meet up with somebody else, but she was having technical difficulties. I'm like, oh no! So you know what? I think I do hear an echo a little bit. Do you hear that? Let me just look.
I don't.
I'm going to lower my volume just a little bit there. And but yeah, usually Thursdays, I just like to, like eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick one, and just let the conversation unfold. All right. So my goodness, I looked on your, I think it's your website, and you call yourself the grandma of dream interpretation. What?
Actually, actually, I get messages from spirit all the time. I mean, dream. Just real quick, when I started uh acknowledging my dreams, because I've always been a dreamer back like in 1989, 1990. No, many moons ago. Um,
Yes, a few.
what happened was my psychic abilities came in my dreams first, and then they came into my life. Okay. So one day, it was back in May, I heard really loud, "You will be called the grandma of dream interpretation." And I was
Don't you
like,
just love that? Don't you
and
just love that?
yeah, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Usually in the middle of the night when you're sleeping, right?
Actually, it was during the day.
Oh,
And
during the day.
And
Okay.
I tested it out on people. I tested it out on my sister and my father and my husband. They were all like, "Yeah." One friend was like, "No, call yourself." And then I have a coach there. I call my coach therapist healer because that's what she does. She's really amazing, Dr.
Mhm.
Jen. And I told her, and she's like, "Oh, I love it." And she sent me a plaque, and I'm like, "Okay." I
Oh, it's official if you have a plaque.
Yeah, I have a plaque. It's on my door,
It's official.
and I was like, "Okay." You want me to call myself Grandma Dream Interpretation? I don't have any children, but I'm old enough to be a grandma.
Oh,
So
interesting. I was going to ask you, are you a grandma? Because I'm not. I mean, I'm 63, but I'm not. And I
I'm
mean,
the
it's like,
same age. I'm
oh,
63 too. How cool is that?
that's very
Uh,
cool. What month?
October.
July. Okay.
Okay, but that's okay. We're
Yeah,
still,
that's
we're
cool.
still the same age.
Mhm.
I No, I don't. I have a grandnephew who is almost 7 months now. He's
Oh,
such a sweetie. I just met him. He lives in California. But
mhm.
no, I actually had some man at an Indian restaurant tell me, "You remind me of my grandma."
Oh, I'd be
And
like, "Hmm,
no,
keep
I
that
was
to yourself."
no, I wasn't insulted. I actually
Yeah.
felt good because he said it very lovingly.
Oh,
The
yeah,
tone
yeah.
and energy. Like I took it as a compliment.
There was emotion there that, he
Yeah, it wasn't like,
associated you with.
"Ew, you remind me of my grandma." No, it was very
So he associated you with somebody. Walter, you have to
with
get that
somebody
straight.
he loved. I mean, if it was my grandma, who I only knew one of my grandma, it wouldn't have, you know, I
Right.
that's another story, but it wouldn't have been as loving.
Well, that's a nice compliment. Dream interpretation, and actually on a live that I did the other day, it was just a spontaneous live. There was somebody who was talking about a dream that she had, and it was wild. I love dream interpretation. When you get a chance, go to my publication page, and way down in the archives, there is a one that I wrote, How I Traveled to Africa Without Leaving My Bedroom, I think it is.
Mm.
And I believe it was a time travel dream,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
but it took
Be
me 30 years to figure it out. And it wrecked me when I mean, as I was writing my book, I wrote that in there. And as I was writing the memoir, I'm like, oh my God, things just started coming to the surface and unfolding. And like I said, it took me 30 years to figure out that one dream. And like I said, I believe it was a time travel because it was like no other dream. And I'm a, lucid dreamer, all kinds of crazy stuff my entire life. But that one was scared the crap out of me. It's very unique.
Yeah, well, and sometimes, especially with precognitive dreams, which if people don't know that terms, it's dream of the future. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a while. Life needs to happen to understand it. And sometimes you understand it right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
So however long it takes. And if you've never, because many people don't understand their dreams because dreams are in a unique language, but it is also in your language.
Right.
Okay. So
Symbolic, very symbolic, like
well,
puzzles.
symbolic, but also emotional.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
what happened in your past, what's happened in your future, what's happening today. And then there's dream categories. Okay.
Right.
So, it can be very confusing. Um, but they all have meaning. They
Yeah.
all have meaning, and some you get right away. I mean, some are no-brainers, and some, you really need to study, and dreams often have more than one meaning. They can have many meaning, and that's why with my clients, I always I only do in-depth dream interpretation because some people are like, $25 and I'll interpret your dream. And they give
Yeah.
one
Right. Go take a walk.
interpretation. Yeah, they give one interpretation and it's like, no, that dream could have meant this, it could have meant this, it
Well,
could have
the
meant
the thing
that.
of it is, hi, Karen.
Yeah,
Karen,
hey Karen.
joined. Andrew and Karen. We're just chatting about spirit stuff today. So far, we're just talking about dreams, and we have a whole bunch of other topics to cover. So, if you guys have any questions about the metaphysical world, I guess it is, we're ready. But all right, Pamela, this particular dream, though, it is not anything like I've ever had. It is, like I said, Africa. It took really, really, really quick because it's like a 10-minute read. It's a long story,
Mm.
8 to 10 minutes on my publication. Um, Lying in bed, and then all of a sudden I see a tunnel, and I went in the tunnel, and there was a long tunnel. And at the end of the tunnel, I saw a light. The light turned into a fire. Then I appeared in Africa. I'm like, holy crap. I am aware because, like I said, I'm a lucid dreamer and I could change my dreams with just a thought. Couldn't change it. And I'm like, okay, why can't? And I go to look back in the tunnel, like, I'm out of here. And it was gone. I'm like, okay, I want to go to Hawaii and go somewhere else. Couldn't do it. It's like, hmm. So I was aware of what was going on in the dream, but I couldn't change it. So I just let it unfold. And it was frightening, and it had to do with see, I couldn't figure out the timeline, and I mentioned that in the article. I don't know if it was future or centuries past. I don't know the timeline because there was nothing to identify the timeline because I was in the plains of Africa, and there was tribal people
Mm.
doing a human sacrifice that I witnessed. It was just it was crazy. Then actually, what took place in this dream was I was looking for some place to hide because I felt like my life was in danger, and then I see this tribal man, dark skin, feathers, beads around his ankles, and he goes, "You're not supposed to be here." I'm like, "What?
Mm.
Like, who is this dude talking to me?" I'm like, "I know
Yeah.
that." Hi, Sloan. Sloan is here. We're talking
Hi,
about
Kate
dreams, right?
Stallone, Andrew, Karen. It's
Yes,
happy
yes,
to have
yes,
you here.
yes. So anyway,
Can I
this
Can I
yeah,
interrupt for a minute?
absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
And this is how dreams can mean several things. First of all, my gut instinct is that you actually traveled in time. And time, we're trapped in space and time, but time can be past, future, today. Okay. But
Yeah,
you traveled somewhere. But
I
another way to look at that is that you're scared that you need to sacrifice in your life and you don't want to be there. Okay, literally, that's another way to look at it. The African man could be representing somebody who, you're afraid of, and you've made too many sacrifices for him. So, I mean, right there, that's 3 different interpretations,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's many more. That's why I'm like, when somebody says, "Your dream means that," no, it can mean many things.
And it's also difficult for somebody else to interpret a dream because it's based on our experiences. Now, what you said can make sense on some level, but the rest of the dream, uh, where he said, "Oh, look at that kitty.
Yes,
I have a
that's
black one. I have a
reality.
white one." Thank you for all the hearts. Who's doing that? Thank you. Thank you. So it's got to be slow. Thank you. Um,
And hello, Brian.
and Brian, thank you. Hello, guys. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, that would make sense until you heard the rest of the dream where this, man, as I was hiding in Africa, appeared to me and says, "You're not supposed to be here." I'm like, "No kidding. How do I get back?" And what he did was he took my hand and spread my fingers apart and with a needle and I'm watching this happen. He had injected something in my hand, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be poisoned. I'm gonna die. And then as that happened, I started getting fuzzy, like I was going back in time to present. And as I was leaving that time, he says, "Don't ever come back." I'm like, "Trust me, I will not." But actually, going back a bit, I mentioned there was tribal people around a fire, and they were holding a woman, and she was screaming bloody
Mm.
murder. And I wanted to save her, but I'm like, you know what? I can't because I will be sacrificed as well. There was all men; she was the only woman, and it was a human sacrifice. And so then I'm thinking, what does this dream mean? What does this dream mean? And I just went deep in my soul because, I've never, like I said, I've never had a dream like that. And then I don't know if angels, guides, God himself, I just say spirit told me that, when like if you go on a roller coaster or something scary, you're like, "Oh God, help me, save me, I'm gonna die." Well, when you say those words, they're actually heard by somebody.
Of
So
course.
she's screaming bloody murder, help me, somebody help me. So I, back wherever I was in a different time, came in because I heard her crying for help. And I couldn't help her. So finally she passes a horrific way. And what I saw next to this dream is like I turned into like a soul and I saw, we just got like a chills,
Mm.
and I saw her soul, and together we just went up and she passed. So it was like I was her spirit guide. And I took her because I knew she was going to die, and I just guided her to the light. So I was no longer a human; I was her spirit guide.
Mm. That's
And
cool.
it took me 30 years to figure that out. So then, after I witnessed that, that's when this tribal man comes in and says, "You're not supposed to be here." He gave me this injection between in the webbing of my hand, and then I started getting fuzzy, and it started off as a sleep paralysis dream.
Mm.
So I always know something very, very odd is going to happen when I get sleep paralysis. So then I'm back in my bed, can't move, sweating, and in my room with my physical eye, I see this man's face still, and he's like, "Don't come back. You will not be able to leave again." He goes, "This time you did it, but do not come back." My Trust me, I won't. So as soon as I was able to move again, right, Sloan says, "Wow,
Mm.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I should write a book." I did, but all these are in the book, but it's a memoir. I kind of keep it private. It's
Yeah.
just, anyway.
But can I interject for a minute?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
because, at the beginning I said it did feel like you actually traveled and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But it's also what's interesting is how we put the injection in your hand, okay? Because it has 2 meanings. 1, your life is in your hands, okay? So you have power over that, but I also see it as a web, like this woman could have been you at the time.
Mm.
Okay, and how you take it even though you were afraid, you were able to take your power back But you know what? You're not gonna make the same foolish mistake of going back there or other things that you've learned in life. So I feel like it's an actual experience, but you learn from the experience.
Oh, definitely. I will never go visit Africa, I will tell you that for sure.
Now,
But
see, and I've
anyway,
always wanted to go to the Serengeti. Like, if I could, like, beam me up, Scotty, or do an I Dream a Genie or whatever,
yeah.
I'd go to the Serengeti and I'd go back. I hate to
Well, you
travel.
can travel in your dreams, you know that,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
So
that's
so
true.
do it. You
Yes,
know
and I
what's so
do.
really cool? I'm sorry, I didn't
Sorry
mean to
about
interrupt.
yeah.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I said sorry about the tail.
Oh, that's okay. You're lucky that you have a black cat and you're wearing black, but I have a white cat and I am constantly covered in white hair.
Yeah, oh, no,
Sure.
I had a white cat at one time. I have all different color. Cat cat fur gets everywhere,
Oh, yes.
between
Yeah.
my hair, and the cat's fur, everywhere.
Yeah. But time travel is a thing. It is, at least for me, and between astral projection, by location, at will. I've done that 3 times. It's a bizarre experience, and I didn't know I could do it until I just said there was a need for me to be elsewhere, and it was physically impossible for me to get there. So, my that's a whole 'nother story, astral projection, we'll
Well,
talk about that.
it's the same thing with, because, I'm certified hypnotherapist back in the '90s, and I've done past life and I've helped people with past life and future life.
Mm,
And I've experienced them both, and, the future life is really cool. But anyhow, it's we go where we need to go for the lessons that we need to learn today that's going to help us in this life because, people seem to wanna escape, whether they're like star seeds, like, I don't wanna be on the earth, or I wanna be in the future, I want but
yeah,
now is the place
yeah,
to be, and you're here for a reason. And
definitely.
you see these glimpses of other places for a reason to help you be where you are now and to live and to grow and to become your highest potential.
Yeah, I mean, that anchors us into the now, but, and it does make sense, but I'm one of those people who I like to push myself, out where things I've never done before. Another example, years ago, I mean, this is like, a solid 20 years ago. I'm an interior designer. My tagline is "From color to the cosmos." I should have done an introduction. But, so the color part is, I have over 30 years of, an interior design career, specializing in color, and the cosmos part is being a psychic medium and all the woo-woo. But I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and, for now, going to the mountains in a year. So I said, "Oh, I love to drive through the city and at nighttime and look in the windows to see what colors they have on the walls." And it
Mm.
was Christmas time, and I'm like, and I just wanted to drive around through this one town with my husband because they were older homes, with just very old homes. And I looked in the windows and I said, "What a beautiful Christmas tree. Look at that." And I looked in and it was just amazing. That night I went to bed and I'm like, "You know what? I would love to travel the world and look into the windows and see what other people in the country, how they decorate their homes. What colors do they use? Do they decorate for Christmas?" So that night, I fell asleep. The next thing I know, I'm floating up, flying dreams. I have them a lot, and I start flying. It looked like it was England-ish. I'm not 100% sure. Cobblestone roads, very, gable roofs, very, and I'm like, wow. I go, I am flying, but it was just at the height of the roofs. But I was able to, and that the street lights were going on, and I was aware I was dreaming. So here we go, lucid dreaming. And I'm like, "Wow, I'm flying," which is cool. And, I think in England somewhere, I'm not sure, but look at these beautiful houses, and I was able to adjust the height of flying to be able to look into the windows. But here you go, right before you go to bed, set your intention to go somewhere.
Right. Well, it's the same thing with like a solution dream. Solution dreams will give you solutions. Like before you go to bed,
Oh, yeah.
ask a question. Like, for instance, I've worked a lot of psychic lines. Okay. And I have, a click for advisor button that I have my website and I'm on like the higher pain and higher energy psychic lines. But I used
Huh?
to work for, um, we call them minimum wage for psychics. They hardly pay anything. Okay. And I was on them and I was really unhappy. So that night I asked, should I stay on these lines or should I move on? And I had a dream of this job that I used to work at that I was really unhappy at. It taught me a lot. It taught me how to make boundaries. It taught me how to heal family issues because they reminded me all of my, you know, family and stuff. So it taught me a lot. And I had that dream about working there on how unhappy I was. And I woke up and I knew immediately it was time to leave. Now, this is where feelings come in. If I had felt ecstatic working, if that was a job I loved and I felt ecstatic there, then that meant that I should stay. So feelings are really important
Oh,
in dreams,
yeah,
you know.
definitely. Yep.
But yeah, and I've also had you reminding me of this dream and it's a little kind of gross, but I had this dream with somebody who I had a lot of issues with. It was a man, right? And I had this dream and sorry Brian and Andrew for this and any other man who's
Uh-oh.
gonna listen to
Uh-oh.
this in the
La,
future.
la, 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 la,
But I
la, la,
had a
la.
dream that I ripped off his penis, right?
Oh,
And I was like, "Yeah!" Right? And then I saw and I was in my room, at the room I lived, and there was a mirror in the room, and I saw myself laying on the bed sleeping, and I'm like, "Ooh, I'm dreaming, let me see if I could fly," and I went to fly, and I fell on the bed, right? And I looked at myself and I'm like, "Self, wake up. Self, wake up." And I
mhm.
woke up and I was like,
What
"Whoa, that
just
was
happened?
wild."
Sloan says, love that. I used to do that walking the streets of London at night when I lived there. Ooh.
I love London. I've been there.
And Alyssa joined and Barbara Moore. Yes, we're talking about dreams right now, guys, and astral projection and all kinds of weird stuff. Um, the other thing about the dream setting your intentions, uh, even in mediumship, to meet other people, you know, well, not other people, your past, loved ones, and say, "Oh, I miss my mom. I just, or as you drift to sleep, if they're on your mind, then it somehow folds into a dream. Fairly recently, um, I had a dream that, I saw my mom. And again, it makes you wonder. Sometimes you just have a bullcrap dream and it's just, crap. But sometimes there's dreams that are like you're in a different realm, you're in a spiritual realm, or you're in a different time zone. So I all of a sudden I popped back into my house where I lived on Long Island, New York, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm home! Yay! I get to visit my home again." It's like, "Yay!" And then I see my parents. My dad passed 3 years this Father's Day, and mom 4 years in like a week. So anyway, I see them dancing in the kitchen of my childhood home. I'm like, oh, we're like, "Hi, mom, hi, dad." And then when I said that, they were dancing, and then my mom turned around and she looked right at me, and she looked beautiful because when you pass, you what I believe, nobody can prove it for sure, that you portray yourself when you look and felt the best.
Mm,
And it was beautiful. I'm like, "Ooh, that's not the mom that I saw when, we were growing up, but it was while she was dating my dad,
mm,
and probably shortly after she got married, and she looked beautiful." I'm like, "Hi, mom." And she just looked right at me and she's dancing, dancing. And it was just a eye to eye connection. And you felt, okay, this is not a dream. This is an
mm,
actual, because our past loved ones are always here. And when we're in the dream world, we can actually converse with them and see them. I've had so many dreams, baseball fields. Then all of a sudden, my eye would just zero in onto one person in the seats, and I saw blue, like a sky blue. And I'm like, "Oh, what is that?" And it was my grandfather. He always wore a blue shirt. I'm like,
mm.
"Grandpa?" He's like, "Hi, Donna." I'm like, "My gosh." I go, "Baseball?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm having a good time." I'm like, "Shit." I go, "That's great." And he's got the blue shirt on. I go, I'm like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah." I go, You and grandma okay?" He's like, "We're fine." He goes, "We're living our life. We're having a good time. I'm watching baseball." I'm like, "Okay, nice visit. You enjoy your game." But it was just a quick visit.
Well, and what I tell people, because I love dreams of our departed loved ones, okay?
Yeah,
Love them.
yeah.
And there's 3 different categories within the deceased dream category. The first is it's an actual visit and it feels like a visit.
Yes.
The second is you have some issues you need to resolve with them. So
Yes.
you might be like for this one woman, she dreamt that one of my clients, she dreamt that her father, she saw her dad, she was all excited, and like he closed the door on her and she was really upset.
Oh,
And that has 2 meanings. One, she's upset that he's gone, but 2, in life, because intuitively I got this, he was never there for her. So
uh-huh.
those were some
Yeah.
issues. The third is where it's a combination of both, where you might be having an issue dream, like the father closing the door, then he would come to comfort her.
Mm.
Or your deceased loved one comes to comfort you, and then you have some unresolved issues that you need to work out, which is really, which is really
It's
important because you need to do that.
Barbara Moore says, "I'm from Long Island too." Really? Look at that. Port Jefferson. Where are you from, Barbara? And look at all those lovely hearts from Sloan. Mm. Yeah, you know, the mediumship dreams are again, I mean, it doesn't have to be mediumship, but when you need, oh, Lindenhurst. Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes. Very nice. Oh, we're neighbors, kind of. um, yeah, I mean, it's good just to uh some are prophetic dreams and some are warnings. I mean, one day I had, actually, I don't think it was a dream. It was a clairvoyant image where I saw my husband's hand get injured at work. And I said, and he knows to believe me at this point because I've had too many spot on, you know,
Right.
hits where he would be foolish not to just listen to me and take it with a grain of salt. So I said, hey, you know what? Just be careful at work today. Just watch your hands, because he works with airplanes. And he's like, okay. He goes, why? What did you see? I go, nothing. I'm just saying,
Right.
just be mindful of your hands today. That's it. So. And I think that just, Barbara says, oh, what if you dream of someone who's naked in the dream, but confident, just talking and walking around? Might be someone I could be interested in.
Oh, okay. What I'm
But
going to say with that is the person is very confident and is real and will show you who they really are because they're ready to be vulnerable with
I'd
you.
say,
Yeah, exactly. And they're,
put it all out there.
yeah, yeah. And, and just talking, it's kind of like, here I am. You don't like it? Well, tough because this
Nothing to
is who
hide.
I
There's no
am.
clothes, so they're exposing their soul. Nothing to
Right.
hide. Here I am, fully presented to you.
That's a that's really a nice dream,
Yeah.
and, I would definitely talk to this someone. Okay? Yeah, I would definitely talk to this someone and get to know them. It could also be letting you know that it's safe for you to expose who you really are because you will be accepted.
It's a good trust
It
thing to be naked in front of somebody, 100%. That's a trust, I trust you to, you know, to just be here and show you everything that I have, open heart, everything.
Right, exactly. It's a
So
beautiful dream.
I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, Barbara, thank you for that.
I wanna point out one thing with, dreams of deceased loved ones too, because it's kinda like, a precognitive dream and it is letting you know that your loved one's going to pass. I've had that with 2 of my cats,
Yeah.
okay? One and they were symbolic. I also had one before my mom passed, and this was a really beautiful dream. I was, facing my head was turned this way, and I felt like a pull on my hair, and I was really scared at the time. This was in the early '90s because I had had a lot of nightmares, and I
Mhm.
didn't wanna turn around, and I turned around, and there was my mom. And we no words were spoken. It was this incredible love. I mean, it was love that I have never experienced. I feel like it was the love that people talk about when they have a near death experience, like words can't explain it. And I woke up that morning and I'm like, "Oh my god, my mom's dead." And my sister called me, I don't know if it was that day or the next day, and said, "Do you wanna go visit mom?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." After that dream, I need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
visit her. And so we visited her, and in that visit, I felt complete. I felt there was closure. I felt
Mm,
like we were good,
that's good.
and then she passed a little while later. So sometimes you will have dreams about that, and there you could say, "Oh, how sad," but it was actually a blessing with my cats because I got to say, "I love you, you're important to me," and to make some kind of peace and closure before they pass.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? Sometimes those insights happen like recently. For myself, I was sitting in my living room and I hear a large bang in the next room, in the front of the house. And I'm like, I mean, I hear things constantly in my house. I see things constantly. So it would not be unusual to see an angel or a spirit person or something weird just in my house. It's just the way it is for me.
I just
But
wanna say hi, Rudy.
oh, Rudy, who's here? Rudy's here. Yes, okay. Barbara says thank you, ladies. Oh, you're welcome. Hey guys, if you have any questions about dreams or spooky stuff, some of you know me already, and I don't know if anybody has met Pamela before. Um, but so anyway, so I'm in the living room watching TV. And I hear this big bang, and I'm like, and at first I sit there, and before I act on any of the things that I see, I just close my eyes, and my senses are so sharp. I run everything through the clairs. What does it feel like? Does it feel safe? What does it look like? Does it smell? What does it sound like? Do I feel safe? And these are all the clairs that I'm talking about. And
Right.
so everything was yes, okay, 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 okay. So I knew it was okay to proceed. So I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go into the other room and see who did that. So I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, who's here? Didn't feel any cold spots. I didn't see anything. I'm like, okay, so why does the spirit world have to make us work so hard? It's like you have to be a psychic detective. So anyway, I'm looking around, and then I noticed we have a beautiful bar, with all the bottles and wines, and it looks like a little parlor from like the 1800s. I designed it that way. Cork flooring and old fashioned, furniture and what. Anyway, so I noticed that a sword that we had on the wall for 20 years had fallen. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, things fall off the wall. Again, I'm very scientific, so I debunk everything. Was there something in my house that, jolted the wall to make it move? No. Was there something outside? No. Were the screws secure? Yes. It did not make sense why this sword decided to fall. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to put this aside. So my husband came home from work and I said, hey, I go, whose sword is, because we have so much, tchotch in the room, novelties. I'm like, whose sword is that? And he goes, oh, that's my dad's. I'm like, then all of a sudden, I just, I just got this sinking feeling.
Mm,
Hmm. I was like, okay. So I sat down, didn't tell him anything yet because I had to figure out how I'm going to tell him your
right.
dad's to die soon. And so I'm like, so I sit down, I'm like, you know what? I go, I'm going to tell you because they did tell me something spooky again. I'm like, yes, I am. And, I said, you know what? I go, I just have this feeling something's going to happen to your dad soon. I go, it's highly unusual that sword, fell. And I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And, I go, but I'm just going to note that. So, Valentine's Day, he passed. It was just like a couple weeks after he passed, recently, this past
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. So, it's just, a sword falls off the wall. Okay, big deal. But this is where, hi, Crystal. Oh, Crystal Energy Blessings.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hi, Crystal.
I don't think her name's Crystal. I think it's Crystal Energy Bless. You know,
Blessings.
I was just saying on my profile page, I wish people would like Crystal Energy Blessings. That's a beautiful title, but what you name? I need to know these names, and I'm horrible with names. I have a book now. I just write everything down. You know,
Well, but some people don't want others, they wanna
I
go
know.
incognito, but what you were saying about that sword, and my condolences for your
Yep,
father-in-law. I'm sure he's resting in peace now. But those
definitely.
little signs that people be like, that doesn't mean anything. They
Mhm.
mean something. They
Always.
definitely
Yeah,
mean something. So pay attention. And, I mean, just like signs in dreams, signs in everyday life,
yeah.
they're important.
Spirit signs, they are a thing, and again, he passed on Valentine's Day, so just I don't know, what is today? The 26th, so 3 days ago, I put the TV on, and I put some ridiculous movie on that I've seen already, and I didn't really wanna watch it, but I just put it on for some reason. So I'm in the kitchen making my cookies and stuff, then all of a sudden, I hear,
Hi, Lindsay.
"Hi, Lindsay." All of a sudden, I hear, a song play on the movie by Chicago. I'm like, I said, "You gotta be kidding me." When my father-in-law was passing, we put, our phones, everybody put a playlist, on his chest, and, so he could hear music. I played Bonnie Raitt or something because I know
Mm,
he likes it, but his, granddaughter played for him a Chicago playlist.
mm,
So I heard Chicago, I'm like, and I don't like Chicago, so it is not mine, but I'm like, "Wait a minute, why am I being aware of Chicago, this music?" Ran it through the Claire's. I'm like, "Ah, that's my father-in-law's here." I'm like, "Hi,
mm,
Pop. How are you?" And, like, I think the next day, my husband had a similar because the first week or 2 after somebody passes, maybe 3 weeks, their connection here with family members is extremely strong.
mm.
So the signs come in full throttle. So he was saying my husband was saying that he was, out and about somewhere where there was a lot of people, and a man walked by that looked exactly like his dad. I mean, hair, clothing, body shape, everything. And he, my husband says, he goes, "I'm looking at this man," and the man must have knew that he was looking at him because the man turned around, made eye contact with my husband, and just went and turned around. I'm like,
Yeah.
I said to my husband, I go, "That could have been your dad. He could that that could have been." I say it was.
Or your dad using him as a channel, like Barbara said, energy and frequency is always communicating
Yeah,
with us, and, I just wanna say hi to everyone who just joined.
yeah. Hi,
Um,
Loris. Hello.
but when my father-in-law passed, we I saw dragonflies everywhere, but what was
Oh,
interesting, was they were at the front door.
ew.
Or right by the kitchen window, I mean, like, right by, and I just knew, and it not all at once, but here and there, and I just knew it was his way of saying hello,
Yes.
you know?
You just know it, that Claire
Yeah.
I call it the smarty pants claircognizance,
Well, when
you know?
my a parakeet I've had 2 parakeets, and when Birdie Bird died, I used to do yoga, and at the end of it, I'd lay down in savasana, however you say that. I don't always, but I would do it, and I always felt him flying around me. It was
Oh,
Yeah, it was his way of saying, "I love you."
yes. Yeah. Um, when we left the hospital, when as my father-in-law was transitioning, when I saw him for the last time, I leaned over and I whispered to him, I said, "Hey, Pop," I said, "when you get to the other side," we say other side, but it's wherever. I go, "You're gonna really find out who I am and what I do, but give me a sign so I can identify me." Because everybody has their own little sign. I said, "I don't know whether it's a dragonfly, butterfly, horse, whatever it is. Just pick a symbol and let me know what it is." So then we're leaving the hospital, we're driving home, and a Grateful Dead song comes on the radio, um, and the name of it was "He's Gone."
Yes.
And my husband says, "Oh," he goes, "this song." I'm like, "What song is that?" He goes, "It's called 'He's Gone.'" I'm like, "Oh God." And then I looked at him, I looked at where the, radio was, and I just turned my head out the window, and there was a van, and on the back of the van was a butterfly this big, a white sticker. I'm like, "Okay, Pop, butterflies it is." But he let us know he was there because through the music, and then he's like, Okay, Donna said, dragonflies or butterfly? Fine, butterfly it is."
Yeah.
Seriously though, how you cannot make these things up.
Alright,
Cannot.
and I just wanna say to Mr. Just who do you think we are? We are love and light. So there you go.
Oh, well, that's her title.
Oh, look, Sloan.
Just who do we think we are? Yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's
I
not
was
her
teasing him.
that's not her comment, that's who she is.
Oh,
Welcome.
this is interesting with Sloan. Yes, that happened to me after my dad passed when I was 13. I saw a man on a golf course from behind.
Yeah.
He looked like my dad. He turned around, winked at me, and he literally turned and walked right out of my view.
You
That
know what?
is that's that is so
Wild.
cool. That is just
What a
and
gift.
that's
What a gift.
confirmation of what happened to your husband too.
Yeah. Yeah, I know hands down, I said, that was your dad. 'Cause I mean, when my mom passed, I too in a crowd, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's my mom." And it that e exact and she had, like, one of those Dorothy Hamill haircuts. Nobody well, she was, like, 80 something. Nobody has that haircut. I have no and there's this woman in crowd with that Dorothy Hamill haircut, the same auburn color hair that she had. I'm like, "Wow, just
Mhm.
wild."
And
And the
Sloan
spirit is
says she just got the
full
body chills.
blown. Yes, full
Yeah.
body chills, I'm telling you.
Then
And
that
this
and that's confirmation too, what you
Yes.
feel in your body too. That's definitely
Yep, yep.
confirmation.
Yes, definitely. So, you know what, before you mentioned, you had predicted when your cat passed or was going to pass or your bird, and, my I also know that you do Lenormand cards, which I love.
Oh, yes,
I
yes.
have I have these here, and,
Oh, I have
uh,
that deck.
about,
Can I show you my deck that I
yes.
created? It's
Yep.
it's kinda worn out, but
Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts.
yeah. Um, this is my deck, and it's of my cat Merlin who passed. That was
Oh,
one of the kitties that came
oh,
to me,
yeah.
and, I had a wild dream, I won't go into I had a wild dream that pointed me to it, and as I got certified in Lemoore, I took a expensive class that I it was more for me, okay? So I'm certified Lemoore reader, but as I was learning it, I was creating the cards, and
Mm.
I like it better than tarot, honestly.
I don't do tarot. Yeah, I cannot it's so stupid, and I don't know why. I can't even touch a deck of cards.
Oh, no, I like tarot, but I love the Lemoore.
Same. I don't know what it is. I have to Barbara says, "What is that?" I think she wants to know what your cards are. Oh,
Oh,
wait. What is what, Barbara?
it
She says, "What is that?" I don't know if she's referring to your
okay, well, I'm
cards.
going to explain it anyhow in case somebody
Okay,
was wondering.
there you go.
It's after I think her first name was Marie Lenamore who came up with these decks cards,
Yeah.
and there's symbols like the bear, um, crossroads and
Yes.
stuff,
Oh, yes,
and
yes, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah.
and they're basically, you can lay them out, and they give you information. They're very down to earth, like
Oh,
tarot.
excuse me one second. Barbara wants to know the name of the person who designed the cards. I think you mentioned the name. Amira? Can you see what Barbara wrote there?
Maybe it's your cards because these are mine that I created.
Oh, yeah, these are, Lenormand cards, just regular, my
But who made them?
um,
There should be a name.
Marchetti.
Yeah.
Shiro Marchetti?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, expanded edition. So go ahead, go finish, you're talking about your cards.
Well, they're like tarot is very spiritual, okay? Where it helps you with your spirituality. Um, it's Lenormand, and it helps you like with day-to-day things,
Oh, wait a
okay?
minute, I'm sorry, Pamela, she says it's not tarot, it's what? It's Lenormand.
Lemor Lenormand. I always say lemon or
Yeah,
Lenormand.
it's pronounced Lenormand,
Yeah,
I believe. I could be wrong, but it's, Lenormand, um, Lenormand,
right.
Lenormand cards.
Yeah, and there's how
Hi,
many now?
Jennifer.
There's 40 cards. I think there's 40. Am I
Oh,
correct?
I have the expanded edition, so there's
Yeah, I think there's no, I'm sorry, 36 cards, okay? And you put them in different spreads, or you could just ask a question like, "I'm gonna ask, what do we need right now?" Okay? And I got the man,
oh, wait,
okay?
we're doing this? Wait a minute, let me get mine out.
Okay, and I got the man. And the man is actually about a person, but it also can be your masculinity, okay? But I'm actually what I'm hearing is power. You need to get in touch with your inner power. Okay? That's what you need right now.
Wait, put your card up again. Look on the bottom. What is it? Ace of Hearts?
Eights of hearts. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't do the pips,
I do.
but oh,
Romancy is my game. I love like
okay. Well,
regular playing cards.
if we're gonna do the ace of hearts, okay, this is how I'm interpreting it. We need to be have our power and love. That's what we need.
Yeah, or since you had the man card, ace, everybody interprets different. I throw the cards out of all my cards. I don't even have that many. I designed a few myself, but I have regular bicycle playing cards and just a few I designed and these Lenormand solely on intuition. So that man card and also looking at the ace and heart, I would take that ace and, narrow it down to one. Love yourself as a man, or if you're a woman, tap into your the masculine side and bring it forward and embrace it. Let me
Right.
just pull a card and see if I pull the man that oh, I've got this one. That's super pretty too. But what I wanted to say,
The
Pamela,
star, actually that's a beautiful card.
I
The
know it's
star.
yeah.
So you are loved by the heavens.
Oh, I
And
am
heaven is
always
up
up in
there.
the I was saying that, I think in the other live that I was doing that, I'm always up in the higher chakras, always up in the stars. My point of bringing up the Lenormand cards was that, you talk about, one of your pets passing is, my one of my cats, like 4 years ago, was passing, and I'm like, "Oh god," it's like, I can't take this anymore. So I went to my cards and I said, "When is my cat gonna pass?" And I pulled a card and, um, it was card 26 or 28, whichever one it was, and I'm looking at the whole card, and for some reason, I was zeroed in on the number. My intuition drew me right to the number. I'm like, "Hmm," and it was like, uh, I think it was the number 28, I don't know, and it was maybe day 18 or 19 or whatever it was, so day 28 did not come yet. Guess
Mm.
what day he passed?
The 28th.
Yep. So I'm like, "Oh, god." So I pulled another card and it was the, park, the park on Lenormand, and, I said, I don't know if oh, at this point, we all had already, buried our cat in the yard, and this is another freaky thing. At that time, it was, I think, M March. We had the day before he died was cold, it was snowing, and it was nasty. Then the next day when he passed, it was like 55 degrees and beautiful and warm. So we buried him that day, and the next day it was cold and nasty again. So I pulled a card and I said, where is my Levi? Where's my cat?" And the garden card showed up. I'm like, "Oh my god." So I showed my husband. He goes, "Donna, can you please put your cards down for a while? Just put the cards down."
Oh, but I see that as so beautiful because
Yeah.
the garden is like happy being with people, feeling, I mean, feel like it is like a park situation. And, that is a beautiful card to let you know your kitty
It
was
is a beautiful
okay.
card. They're all beautiful, but Pamela, the point is, at least with me, I mean, everybody, connects with a tool differently, but they are so accurate.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I have to be careful what I ask and who I read with these because they are so accurate, at least
Well,
for me.
the question is the important thing, like, when
Yeah.
I had a dream about midnight, I knew midnight was gonna die, I was so upset, like, I was crying, and she actually came to comfort me, right? Because I knew she was going to pass, and, like a human, I wanted to control it, and I used the tarot, and every time I asked, I would get, like, the World, which is completion, or the Death card, which is not a bad card, but it was,
The coffin.
it was about
I love the death card,
yeah,
actually.
it's about transformation.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And obviously you can't alter when someone's going to cross over. We're
Yeah.
not that powerful when it's their time, you know?
But a lot of people are afraid of the coffin in Lenormand, the death card, ace of spades. The Italians are like, "Whoa, ace of spades, morte, you're gonna die." But you have to understand that, yes, it could mean that, but it's also the ending of something. In
Right.
order to start something amazing in your journey, you have to end a few things. So some things in your life, you need to cap and close in order to move forward and branch out in something else. So
Right,
I kind of embrace that card, and I welcome it.
right, and you
Because yeah.
you might need to grieve because after midnight passed, I had this really cool dream, and it was a visitation, and it was very short, okay? She came and she rubbed up against my leg, the side of my leg, which she always
Mhm.
did, and I was like, "Midnight!" And I went to go grab her, and she went by, and she went on the window ledge, and she jumped out into the sky. And it was like her saying, "Hey, I love you, but I'm gone. I can't
I'm
wait.
gone. I'm busy.
I
Hey, yeah, hi, mom.
can't
See
wait
ya.
to cross over. I am happy."
You know
You
what?
know,
I
just
love
visited
that
me.
when pets go. I mean, I hate to say it, but sometimes it hurts just more when like a person goes. That's awful to say, but I
No,
mean,
I
our
understand.
pets are unconditional love 24/7, and when they're gone,
Well
it's like a pain that never goes away.
well,
And so,
people don't sleep next to us. People don't jump on our desk, or if it's a dog, you don't walk with every day with the people. They don't come and visit you when you're, doing Mother Nature or whatever. They're with us 24/7. We have a different
Mhm.
relationship than with humans. Of course, we grieve when humans die, but it's like
Oh yeah,
they're
yeah,
like our fur children.
yeah. Yeah, it's like a fur child,
Yeah.
exactly right. But I really love the dreams that I mean, I've had cats my entire life since I was from 12 and I'm 63 now, so it's a lot of cats. And every now and then I think about a cat as, maybe during that day or drifting off to sleep. And then in that dreamscape of that night, I would see that cat and I would look, I'm like, "Oh my god," like my cat Jimmy. I'm like, "Jimmy, is that you?" And he would look at me and I would pet him or my other and it just feels different. It's just not like a crappy dream where you see like kangaroos flying in the clouds or something. You see your animal and you make eye contact and you
Mhm.
feel that they
Oh, yeah.
are and it's just for a split second, but they made that contact saying, "I am still here. I have not gone anywhere. I'm just in a different zone, different realm, but they're always still here."
I just gotta say that brain dump
Brain dump
before
before bedtime. How was that? Brain dump
Wow.
before
Oh,
bedtime. And that's
but
what we're talking about, brain dumps, in these
yeah.
dreams. I love that.
Oh, but I like, having the attitude of catitude column. I love dreams about cats, but I had this really cool one, like, when when it took about 9 months. It was kinda weird after Midnight died. It was 9 months, and I just got, like, this craving for another cat. I got an all-white cat, Merlin, who, passed away, I think, like, 6 years ago, but 5, 6 years ago. But in the dream, um, Midnight was, like, on a pedestal, and she jumped down, and Merlin jumped up. And it and
Oh,
that was, like, fabulous because it was, like, she was letting me know, "Okay, I was on your pedestal for a while, and now you have another cat who
hmm,
can be on your pedestal.
oh.
Now I
And
have."
it's
Yeah, I thought that was beautiful. It was, like, such a simple dream, but it was very powerful.
I mean, I believe that I mean, our pets are with us for such a short time. If we get 10 years from a cat, that's a blessing, because they just don't they're never here long enough.
Right.
But, and in my mind, I'm like, "How can I justify this pain of them leaving?" And I'm just sitting here
Hey, Brandon.
hi, Brendan, just thinking, I'm like, "Okay, how can I think of something that'll help me feel better every time one of my cats die?" And then I think it was during a meditation or, clairaudience or something, but I heard that our pets, they have a very Lindsay, oh my god, my cat's 7. Your
They do
cat's
live to 20.
your
They
cat's fine, Lindsay. No faking. She's
they
fine.
do live to 20. They live, when their
Yeah,
time comes,
yeah.
their time comes, so enjoy them every day.
I have a cat here, another white one. That's Walter. She's 13. Her name is Spooky. But, anyway, so I truly believe, like, to help justify this pain for myself, that cats, dogs I never owned a dog, but, because I'm a cat person, that they are so magical, angels without wings, and unconditional love that they're in in our lives for a reason, like friends. Friends come and go. They're in our life for a reason. When that reason is fulfilled, no matter what it is, they drift away, they fade away. Now, as far as pets, I I believe that um, they're healers. So they stay with one family for 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it is. And as if they see that family is okay, if they gave that family the best love they could, the best healing that they could, they feel that it's their time to go and they pass and they move on to another family in another form to help that family. So that is my saving grace, that I feel that my cats are giving another family, and they may look different and have a different personality or whatever, but I truly believe that they're with another family, helping that other family as much as they helped me.
And yes, I agree with Lindsay. They are, and thank you, Karen, for
Thank you,
being.
Karen.
And I do
Bye.
believe they are our spirit protectors. They're like energy.
Yes, definitely.
Like, for sometimes they do come back to us and they do visit us in the dream time, or you can feel their presence,
Yeah.
you know, a lot. Like, I know that Rhiannon, the cat I'm petting right now, was my midnight, you know?
Hi,
So,
Donna. I love your name, by the way. You don't see Donnas too often. You really.
Yeah. Hi, Donna.
You
So
know, though, the thing, and even like when people pass, my mom passed March 22, and she was in transition. She was in transition for a couple days, but the day that she passed, it was 5:05 in the morning, and I was my husband was already out to work. I was in the bed by myself, and I felt somebody lay in the bed with me up against my back. Now, when I was a little girl, my dad used to travel a lot, so I would sneak in my mom's bed and we would sleep back to back. She said,
mm,
"Come on, Donna, let's sleep back to back." And we would just go up against each other's back and put the covers on, and it was so cozy. And so when she passed at 5:05, I felt the bed move and it woke me up, and then I felt somebody up against my back, and I just knew my mom had passed. And 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, my brother called me and said, "Mom passed." And I'm like,
mm,
"I know, but she came here and she laid with me just for a brief moment." But then the signs after that for the solid week were unbelievable, unbelievable. And what was really weird is that I took on characteristics of my mom, because my at that point my dad was living with me. Um, she passed, and like a week later I invited him into my house to come live with me. But during that week I would say things to my dad that I would never say to my dad, like, "How you doing, sport?" I'm like, "Oh shit." I go, "Oh, I'm talking to my dad." He goes,
mm.
"Mom used to call me sport all the time." I'm like, I I I started, like, she was like in my body, and I was speaking like the words like my mom spoke. It was very weird. Very strong presence for like 2 weeks.
Mm. That's, and I just wanna respond. Sorry, Donna. I was
What's
trying to
going on?
type with, it's just us on the live,
Yeah,
okay?
Donna
So,
wants to know, can you hear me?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just
it's
us
it's
on the
just
live.
us
I was trying to
two.
type with the cat, and, well, there
Oh,
you
I
go.
see. Yeah. Oh, that would be fun if you did
But
join us, Donna, but we're just two of us here today.
yeah, but, and, like, with mom's passing, everyone has a different experience, but they do let us know that they're here, like, with your mom. And my mom, her way is like, I quit smoking, God, I think, like, 33 years ago, a long time ago, and I don't allow people to smoke in my house or in my car because I can't stand the smell. So,
Hmm.
no offense to any smokers who are listening, but I know my mom's with me in the car when I smell cigarette smoke because
Oh,
she
ah,
smoked.
ah.
That's one of the reasons why she passed, because she smoked so much. So
Sloan
they let me
says,
know in wild ways.
hold on one second. Sloan saying she was speaking through you to your dad. Yes, and that has never happened to me before. I mean, there's a lot of gifts that like unfold over time, but that was another one. Actually, actually happened recently too. But you're right, Sloan. She was. I mean, I was saying things to my dad. I would put perfume on, and I don't wear perfume. I wear my essential oils, but I come into my office like, oh, I'm going to put perfume on, and I sprayed it, and I go, downstairs to see Dad, and he's like, "What are you wearing?" I'm like, perfume." He's like, "Which one?" And I said, he goes, "Mom had that same perfume." I'm like, "Oh God." I'm like, "Okay, let's put some music on." And I put Bocelli on. And yep, that was wrong too. It was Mom's favorite thing. I was like, shit. But the presence when somebody passes is so strong, and they will go, through other
Yeah.
people. Uh,
There's Donna. I smell my dad that way
yeah.
through perfume or cigarette smoke.
I mean, maybe a cologne, a cigarette,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Okay.
I mean, each person has their own smell. So she
Right.
smells her dad. Yeah.
Right. It could be they're cooking,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're cooking or, if they whatever, if they were a car mechanic, you might smell engine grease or,
Yeah. Yeah.
what
And it
whatever.
should never be dismissed. Whenever you sense, see, feel, or smell something, it's like, I smell this or I hear this. Why? And maybe the person with you say, well, my mom, blah, 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 blah. And it might be somebody trying to come through.
Oh,
Or si-
cigarettes. Okay.
So, Pamela, check this out. I think it was about a month ago. I was getting my hair cut, and I was talking to my hairstylist, and he was saying that we were trying to make an appointment for, my next haircut. And he says, oh, I can't at that time. I'm going to a celebration of life. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, no rush. And what happened, like, after that, my haircut was done. And then I stood up and I saw my hairdresser. Well, actually, before that, the music changed in the room. Excuse me. There was one music playing, but he and I heard like morphing music, like, ooh, ooh, like weird stuff like that.
Mm.
And I'm like, what are you playing? He goes, do you hear that? I'm like, well, yeah. So he checked with other people in the office, in the salon, saying, hey, do you hear that? Do we have one station on here or is it two? Everyone was like, one station. So I told, his name is Mark. I said, Mark, I go, you and I are the only ones who can hear this. I go, I think a spirit person is coming through. Based on my experiences, I think, something's going to unfold here. Next thing I know is that I'm standing up and he's talking, he's moving his hands. I can't hear a word he's saying, but I'm sitting there with attitude on my face, looking at him like, really? Like I look at him with annoyance. And on one hand, I'm saying to myself, it's like, oh my God, I cannot hear a word he's saying. And why do I have this look on my face? Why do I feel different? And I just walked out of the salon. Next appointment, he goes, by the way, he goes, what happened? I'm like, well, there was a spirit person who came through, and it was the person that you had the celebration of life for. And she stepped into me, which never happened before. So that
Mm.
just happened a month ago. And I go, so I apologize if I had an attitude on my face because that wasn't me. And I said, by the way, this person who has passed, she's mad at you. Why is she mad at you? And then we unfolded the conversation and she was trying to message to him about money and all kinds of stuff. But that's another thing, that just happened where the spirit person either stood way too close to me and we kind of meshed, a little bit. And I took on her personality, which was very creepy. Donna says, what about when you think you hear someone calling your name? Oh, happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, to me, that happens all the time. And I just say, okay, yes. I go, what do you want? Who are you? I mean, just Donna, spirit people are just like, I don't call them dead people. It's very disrespectful. They're just like you and I. They're people, but they're just in a different form. So if somebody's calling your name, somebody wants to talk to you or connect with you for some reason. So just either close your eyes and sense what you see or feel, or say out loud with your eyes closed, what do you want? Who are you? And whatever you sense to be true, just go with that flow and see that conversation unfolds.
Right. And it could also just be like your spirit guides, your angels just saying, "Hey, I'm here too." So, and how you feel. How do you
Yeah.
feel in the moment? That's important
Yeah.
too. Feelings are important.
So many things. All right, you know what? I had some things written down that I saw on your you called yourself a musical psychic? What is that? I've never heard that.
I get messages in song lyrics. Here's an example. One woman asked about her business, right? and I heard "Nationwide is on your side."
Oh,
I said,
that's
"Oh, your
hysterical.
business is going, national,"
Oh, okay.
you know?
That's funny.
Or one thing, and I get some old songs, somebody will be like, "Oh, I met this guy, what should I do?" And I hear this I don't even know when it's from, it was before I was born. "Getting to know you."
Oh,
So,
yeah. That's
I get
wild.
messages through songs, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, yeah. Alright. Um, yeah, because you said your on your website, your tagline is "Nighttime messages, daytime wisdom?"
Yeah, and that is a couple things because obviously our dreams give us lots of wisdom for the day, but I give people their, nighttime messages, but I also give readings, so it's daytime wisdom.
Yeah. If anybody has any questions, now's the time because we're at an hour now, so we're probably gonna start wrapping up. Wow, it was a quick hour, wasn't it?
Yeah, that went by
Right
fast.
before we're preview, like, well, maybe 20 minutes will be good. An hour later. All right. Yeah, and like I said, the I had made a few. I don't have many cards. Going back to the cards, I use regular playing cards, which I absolutely love. Lenormand cards, and I actually collect. Let me just show. I collect cards. These are all regular playing cards, and they're in the container from my grandmother's Singer sewing machine.
Mm.
But no matter where I go, I just collect cards. You know, I got to tell you the story behind this one, Pamela. This one, Harry Potter,
Want to check on the name of cards to Lenamore? Um,
Lenormand. Lenormand. Do a screenshot. Oh,
yeah.
who wanted that?
And I wanna
Uh,
say, and I'm gonna put a little I also have Merlin's Perfect Lenneman, Lamard, however you say it, I always say it a different
Lenormand.
way.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I made some cards. I don't have many cards. Donna says, for example, when I get my last call, I heard the Beatles song JoJo.
Oh, that yeah,
Oh, that's funny. Who's meant to lose Norman?
that's actually how I got
So I
Rhiannon's
named
name.
him JoJo. Oh, I love that.
I That's how I got Rhiannon's name because I was thinking I wanted a male or female cat, companion for Merlin. And I said, if I got a male cat, didn't hear anything. And if I got a female cat, I heard Rhiannon rings like a bell. And I'm like, that's how
There you
she got
go.
her name.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, but I just want to say cards are cool. I'm actually getting close to 100 decks.
Whoo,
Yeah. With
whoa.
Rune,
Wow.
Tarot,
Yeah.
Lenimore, and Oracle decks. I love cards.
I
Hey,
do have angel cards that I use. I have two decks, and the very first one was again like years ago. I bought it in 2014, and I was in bed sick, and I heard in my ear, "Go to the spirit shop." 'Cause there's one 10 minutes from my house. A little, old woman has her own little, garage. She, you know, she has a shop, and that's where I buy all my crystals and stuff. And I'm like, "What?" And I heard, "Go to the spirit shop and buy cards." I'm like, "Okay, first of all, who am I talking to? Who is it?" I ran, I turned on all the senses, and it was whoever. It wasn't anything awful. And I'm like, "No." I go, "I am in bed. I have 101 fever. I'm going nowhere." I argue with spirit. Yes, I do. I argue, and they're
free
like,
will.
"No, you need to go to the store, to spirit shop and buy a deck of cards." I'm like, "Well, which cards?" "You'll know when you see it." I'm like, "Ooh, aren't we so mystical?" So I got dressed, and she alchemist, hello. And so I got dressed, and thank goodness the uh store is only 10 minutes away. So here I am in my fever, and I get to the shop, and I told Marie, the owner, I said, "Stay away from me. I'm sick. Spirit told me to buy some cards." She's like, "Okay, go to town." So I'm looking around, looking around. It was a small shop. And then I saw these one cards, chakra card. And I love chakras, I because it has to do with color, and I could see chakras. So I'm like, "Ooh, chakra cards." I'm like, "I guess that's it." So I'm like, "All right." So I buy these cards. I get to the parking lot to get in my car to go home, and there was a woman who was standing there. She's like, "Oh, what did you buy?" I'm like, "Okay, here we go." I'm like, "I bought cards. Would you like to see them?" She's like, "Sure." So I took them out and showed them to her. And I said, "Would you like me to pull one for you?" She's like, "Well, yeah." I have never seen these cards before. So I take it out and just cut it in half, whatever. And I pulled this one card and I said, "Oh," and I just unfolded a intuitive reading. And she's like, "Oh my God." She's like, "You helped me so much." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "I was going to make a decision today and I needed a sign from somebody." I'm like, "Who?" I just got chills. I'm like, "Oh." I go, "So here we go." I go, "That's how come I got out of my sick bed to give this woman who needed verification for something, validation for something." And Spirit said, "Donna, get your butt out of bed. Forget about your fever. Go pick out a card because somebody needs to hear a message." Is that odd? It's that's wonderful. Just weird.
I gotta tell you because you reminded me of a similar experience I had where I was gonna go to a new age shop, right? But I really had to pee, and I'm like, "I need to go to the bathroom," right? And I heard, "Don't pee." "What?" "Don't
Don't
pee," and I'm like, "Okay, well, this is uncomfortable." I got in my
tell
car.
that to my bladder.
Yeah, I got in my, in the car, and I drove over to the shop, right? And I get in there, and there's these people putting down the flyers, right? And they're getting ready to go, and I looked over and I walked over and I'm like and it was a mediumship development class, okay?
Oh,
And it was the people, and I started talking to them, and I actually told what happened, like and it was because I was supposed to meet these people to join their class because I might not have joined if I just looked at the flyer.
spiritual timing. It's a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Super cool. Oh my gosh, we're over
Yeah,
an
well,
hour.
like, I need to get going. I have to
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. I need to have breakfast. I haven't even had coffee yet. I'm like way behind. There is an amazing story behind these deck of cards. Please go to my publication page, which is free, and go to the archives. And I think it's called "A Medium Walks into a Bar and Saves a Life." Super, probably one of the creepiest. I can't even say that. I have so many creepy experiences. But please go. You'll see this deck of cards in that article. Please read it. Oh, Amanda says, "Thank you both." Thank you, everybody, for joining
And
Pamela.
thank you for having me. And
It
I
was
just wanna add that you can, I have Attitude of Catitude in case you don't know,
Promos.
because
Go
you
ahead.
got my 5 cats, but I also have Ponderings from Pamela, which is more about spirituality, dreams, interpretation, and stuff like that. So,
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Oh, 20 people. How fun.
yeah.
Nice. And we talked about dreams and spooky stuff and cards. If you have any questions, either pull Pamela or myself aside, message us. We'll be glad to answer your questions. Thank you, Pamela. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, it was nice,
And
everybody.
hugs
Thank
to your cats. They're super cute. All right,
and
guys.
and bye, Walter.
Goodbye, Walter. Yeah, he's back asleep over there. All right, guys. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Alright, bye-bye.